is that when it feels scary to jump, Ian, that is exactly when you jump. Otherwise, you end up staying in the same place your whole life. And that I can't do.
I found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. Nothing.
It's pushing the water, and there's a jogger, actually. Look at this.
The struggle is real. It never gets any easier. You gotta get harder.
I will be the one that is physically harder and mentally stronger, and I will work to maintain that position. I will never quit. Because if you quit, you're done. You may still be alive walking around on this earth. You're done.
You know, anything in life that you put your mind to, you can do. The world is your oyster. That's all I tell people. And I really have a grasp of that being that I nearly died. Only thing promised is death. So basically, life is like a game. So you have to play the game the way you want to play it. You got to take advantage of this. And that doesn't mean for everybody to be a rapper, for everybody to be a producer. Do what you do to the fullest and live your life.
Everything is possible in your life when you believe. When you believe, everything is possible.
Let me leave you with some words from Muhammad Ali. Impossible is just a big word thrown around by small men who find it easier to live in a world they've been given than to explore the power they have to change it. Impossible is not a fact, it's an opinion. Impossible is not a declaration, it's a dare.
Is that most people think that they put a little effort, they get a little success. They put a little more effort, they get a little more success. They put a little more effort, they get a little, it's not linear, folks. It happens like this. You work, nothing happens. You work, you watch some people fall off, nothing happens. It's hard, difficult, and lonely. You work, still nothing happens. And then for the people that persist and last the test of time, that overcome the adversity, that continue to do the personal development work and continue to put pressure and march forward under any and all circumstances, it happens like this. It's hockey stick growth. You just take off. And so if you are in this process, if you are in this long journey and it's hard, difficult, lonely, and challenging, please know it was like that for all of us.
The bad days create the story that I'm one day going to tell myself about what I got through. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Without the bad days, the story would be way more lame. There would be no glory in overcoming anything, because what did you overcome?
I never looked at things as problems. I look at them as opportunities. Maybe that's something I can say. You know, someone, well, she did this, and I was, well, what an opportunity you have. Yeah, well, the world, you know, because they said this and CNN said that. Yeah, well, what an opportunity you have to make a difference, because you never know who's watching.
Most of the limitations we have do not exist in reality. They exist only in your own mind. And one of the starting points of great achievement is to start questioning those self-limiting beliefs and throw them off and act as if they did not exist.
Never say never, because limits, like fears, are often just an illusion.
99% of people in the world are convinced that they're incapable of achieving great things, so they aim for the mediocre. The level of competition is thus fiercest for realistic goals, paradoxically making them the most time and energy consuming. If you are insecure, guess what? The rest of the world is too. Do not overestimate the competition and underestimate yourself. You are better than you think.
The mindset of a winner, which is a winner does more than expected every single time, no matter how they feel, no matter the circumstances. A winner shows up 10x times more than the average person. A winner has these unreasonable expectations of himself. A winner knows that he's destined for greatness. And no matter how many people around him tell him to slow down, be careful, watch out, that's too risky, you don't have the genetics, the DNA, the money, the mind, the brain power for that. A winner locks onto their goals and keeps going. That's what the winner does.
When people don't understand you anymore, you're in that spot of obsession and drive where people are like, what the f is
wrong with this guy? I don't want to talk to you, man, because you're not going to get it.
You know what the difference between winners and losers is? One of the differences, winners take the first step. Losers always have an excuse. Winners say, okay, I'm going to do it, and they do it. They take the first step. That doesn't mean they jump off a cliff. It just means they take the first step. And if you take the first step, the second step will appear, and the third step will appear. It's almost like those lights that light up as you walk along. But what happens is that you take the first step, every subsequent step will appear. And surprise, surprise, you'll turn around a week, a month, a year, or some years later, look back, and you'll have accomplished extraordinary things. And people say, well, you're sure lucky. You're sure lucky. It wasn't luck at all. I worked at it and worked at it and worked at it.
I think the most important thing is to become the best version of yourself, to become and achieve your fullest potential. So many people limit themselves based off of what somebody else has told them they are, based off of the limitations of their parents, their teachers, their education, the system. But you can truly become whoever you want to be. And I wanted to push this message of hope, and I wanted to push this message of if you work hard, if you are consistent, and if you dedicate yourself to a worthy ideal, you can become.
In that normal mindset, you must be your best on your worst day. And how you do that is you cannot think of a normal mind.
The hero of your own movie. Comes a day, man. Everyone's gonna have this day. There comes a day where being average, being mediocre is just sickening to you. It's just sickening. It makes you want to throw up. Because you've seen people with far less talent than you. As you're growing up with them, their childhood buddies, whatever else. They didn't have what you had. Yet now they're become something that you haven't. There comes that day. It's either when you're young, you know, and it strikes you on the baseball field because you're sick of striking out. Or it's when you get fired from your 5th job, you know, and your wife and kids are on your ass because you don't know how to support them anymore. There comes a day where push comes to shove. Where being mediocre, being like average and just burns, it sucks so much. You can't deal with it one more day. And you get off your ass. And you create something that's always been there. It's always been inside of you trying to come out. But you've never wanted to unwrap it because it's too much pain and commitment. You were scared you were going to fail. You were scared if you started, you never finish it. You didn't want to tell anyone about it. You knew it was there, but you never wanted to embark on it. Until something hits. You get fired or somebody else gets success to remind you of what you could have been. And then the spark is born. And no matter what happens, I'm never going to be in this boat again. And you get up and you go, even if it gets knocked down, you just keep going, you're a wild man. And life has never been so sweet. That can happen at an early age, it can happen at a later age. It's going to happen to somebody no matter what, it's going to happen to you. And when it does happen to you, thank your lucky stars that finally you're alive. It's time to unwrap the potential you can be. Superior, man. It's within you. It's within every single one of us. And the people that have risen to that level were no different than any one of us. It's just they believed it and they're willing to work their ass off to get it.